Investors, not only are we going to be rich with dividend stocks, we're also going to be ending worldwide obesity while we're at it. According to Wall Street, there will be no more fat people, as we're going to see later on in this video. Investors, it's not every day that we have the amazing opportunity to buy two dividend soft drink kings in Pepsi and Coca-Cola. Both of these stocks are down big in recent weeks and down double digits in the past 6 months. We can now get a starting yield with Pepsi at 3.16%, and for Coca-Cola, that number balloons to 3.5%. But why did the stocks absolutely tank this past week in particular? Have people stopped drinking soda like water? Hell no, they didn't. The reason they're down big has absolutely nothing to do with the companies themselves. It has everything to do because they found a cure for obesity: eating right and exercise. Wait, we've always known that? It could also be because of this pharmaceutical drug called Ozempic and other similar semaglutide drugs. Ozempic is actually FDA approved for adults with type 2 diabetes and is a weekly injection that helps lower blood sugar by helping the pancreas make more insulin. It's not actually approved for weight loss, but some physicians prescribe it for weight loss because it mimics a naturally occurring hormone that tells your body you're full, thus you won't overeat. As of today, nearly 2 out of every 3 Americans are overweight and nearly 1 in 3 are obese. These numbers have gone up considerably in the last 50 years. I actually think these numbers are even higher than reported based on what I see walking around on a daily basis. But that's just my anecdotal evidence. Usually we like to see numbers up and to the right in graphs, but in cases like this, that's actually not a good thing. There's a lot of reasons there's a lot more overweight people these days. This includes our diet, of course. What we eat is a lot more processed calories, dense foods, ridiculous portion sizes. Modern technology also has all of us doing less physical activity than ever. I sit in a desk all day at work. Generally, if you're poor, it's going to be that much harder to find healthy food options. Food companies market really well. Mental health and stress can also cause overeating and just overall lack of education. Now, this is really good if you're a Pepsi or Coca-Cola shareholder. Both own so many calorie-rich foods and beverages. Owning Pepsi is also owning Doritos, Gatorade, Frito-Lay, Mountain Dew, Cheetos. While with Coca-Cola, you're getting ownership to Powerade, Minute Maid, Sprite, Fanta, Diet Coke, among many others. So the fear is if more people start getting hooked on these appetite suppressant drugs, this is going to severely hurt the food and beverage industry because then there's going to be less desire to eat or drink their products. An executive at Walmart said their pharmacy business was benefiting greatly for the demand for Ozempic and other semaglutide drugs. Alright guys, now for my opinion. Is Wall Street right for sending Pepsi and Coca-Cola and other food and drink stocks plummeting this past week? Listen, I know you can't see me, but I'm a relatively fit person. I work out pretty regularly. Heck, I even just ran a half marathon a couple weeks ago. And I still love eating my desserts like cookies or ice creams at night. Alright, I'll be honest, I eat them throughout the day. I do this solely for the taste, not to feel full. It gives my brain great pleasure when that cookie reaches my tongue. To think people will suddenly stop drinking Coke or Pepsi is absolutely ludicrous. People love the taste of their products. People love the feeling of drinking pop. People love that high fructose corn syrup. Unfortunately, a lot of people use eating as a coping mechanism for mental health. Life might let you down, but those brownies, they always got you feeling high. Instant gratification is what people seek these days. That's why being fit is so hard. It requires setting aside time to be active and eating just right. Just like dividend investing, it may take years before results start to show. All that torture Lizzo put us through to embrace her roles, did all that go to waste now that we're curing obesity? Her poor eyes. Ozempic also has side effects. It's not only just positive, especially if you start to use it, then discontinue use of it. I won't get into them because I'm definitely not a doctor, but there's definitely side effects. Sure, maybe sales could see a decline, but this definitely did not warrant a massive sell-off. Smart investors know the best time to be greedy is when others are fearful. I've already started licking my lips and putting my Coke and Pepsi products in the shopping cart. Let's just take a quick look at Coca-Cola and Pepsi's financials, right? So if we go into Coke's earnings, we can see Coke's earnings for the most part are growing. They aren't growing as much as I like to see, but in recent years they've definitely gone up. I know they've been doing acquisitions and growing that bottom line. We can even see their free cash flow numbers are always positive. They're always bringing in money. Just look at all this net income throughout the years. It is slowly growing. It's a pretty mature business at this point. We're not expecting to see double-digit increases in revenue and net income each year like we do with other tech stocks. But we can see this dividends paid number. This just continues to go up. This means they're just continuing to reward shareholders, and they're also buying back shares anytime you see a negative number there, which is good. That means they're not diluting existing shareholders. All right, let's take a quick look at Pepsi as well. $220 billion market cap, very large company. Beta of 0.58, that's a very low beta. That means Pepsi only moves 58 basis points for every 1 point that the overall market moves. That means seeing big price swings is not very normal for Pepsi. So even though Pepsi has been down in recent days, its forward PE ratio is still 20, which is still not super cheap. But let's take a look at these financials. So Pepsi is a little bit better. You can see over the years, their revenue just continues to climb. Always a positive sign to see with companies. And we can see their shares outstanding is continuing to go down. That's great. That means they're buying back shares and not diluting existing shareholders by issuing new shares. And we can see they have positive free cash flow, which is also always great. Here's a better graph of Pepsi's dividends over the years. Pepsi, of course, is a dividend king. They have 50 plus straight years of dividend raises, as does Coca-Cola. So Pepsi just 10 years ago was paying 57 cents a share. As of today, that number has more than ballooned. That's now up to 1.27 cents a share. I love to see growth with my companies like this. You can see every year they're giving 7% raises. Some years they're giving 15% raises. Recent year was a 10% raise. Pepsi currently has a consensus price target of $190 from its analysts. That means there's a 18.5% upside from today's prices. Coca-Cola currently has a consensus price target of $68, which is a 29% upside from today's prices. Guys, I'll even give you a sneak peek of my portfolio. I currently own 16.57 shares of Pepsi. I've been a shareholder since 2018, and I'm racking in at minimum $83.85. Luckily, this dividend king will keep selling products and sharing those ever-increasing profits over the years. So same concept with Coca-Cola. I've been a shareholder since 2018, and I'm making $63.39 and growing. So every year, these companies should continue to raise dividends and share some of those profits with me. Investors, long story short, I think we're always going to have fat people, but that's kind of irrelevant. We're always going to have people of any size that love food and love to drink products. Don't be silly. People are not going to be using Coke as a mixer anymore. I actually have to run. I have some ice cream calling my name. I share my full 6-figure portfolio with my Patreons and also my weekly stock trades as I'm beating the market this past year. Shout out to my newest Patreon, Martin. Just like you wouldn't leave a tip for a waiter or waitress, be sure to leave a like or a comment for the YouTube algorithm. My videos are always found in podcast form under the Collect Cash podcast name. Let me know what you think of Pepsi and Coke stock in the comments below.